talk about come-alongs, hoist, and chain hoist safety. Hand-operated hoists have many applications in rigging work. Typical applications include hoisting pipe, other types of material when it comes to engines, motors, as far as HVAC equipment. All of that comes into place as far as typical lifting operations. These devices are simple to operate, but misuse can result in sudden failure, property damage, and serious injury. Some things to keep in mind. Inspect the hoist to be sure that it's in good condition. What are you supposed to do prior to every work shift? Check your material. Check to make sure that everything is properly in good condition. Making sure that everything is sufficient for your task at hand. So when it comes to your rigging equipment, what should you be looking for? Rust, pins. When it comes to a chain, what are you actually looking for? Say that again?
Broken links.
Any broken links? You're looking for any breakage. You're looking for any distortion when it comes to every single link change. Every single link matters when it comes to that chain hoist. One is deformed, then the rest are weak because of that one breakage, that one link. You have to make sure that you check every single link prior to actually using it. What about a nylon strap? What are you looking for?
Something to break.
Cuts, sprays, burns. What about chemical? You're looking for anything that's chemical. What about sunlight? Does sunlight actually damage the actual strap itself?
Yes.
It can over time. It can actually deform it and make it weaker over time. These are all factors that you have to look at. What is one thing that you should know prior to actually lifting up any of the equipment? The actual weight of the equipment itself. Where you have to get it located and how you're going to actually get it there. So that means you would have to use several different types of rigging equipment to get it to that one location and no strap is being overloaded. So the biggest thing that you have to look at on overload is that you don't try to cheat the system. How many of you have used the cheater bar before to try to use that actual come along in the event that you can't do it by hand, you're trying to use a cheater bar? How many of you done that? Be honest.
That's not right.
At least a couple are honest. When you do that, you're jeopardizing that actual come along or that hoisting equipment where it will fail. You are persuading it to actually fail. You have to make sure that you use the system that's in place for it. It has a long enough leverage for you to use, and it has a certain amount of weight capacity per each hoisting equipment to make sure that you're doing it properly. In the event that you are using a cheater bar, that hoisting equipment and that actual come along is not strong enough to actually sustain the load. Should you leave it unattended? No. You should never leave it unattended. Why? It's a dangerous situation in the event that you leave it overnight, you are jeopardizing anyone else that's going underneath that load. And no one is maintaining it to make sure that it's sufficient and holding it. What about making sure that you're picking it up straight vertical, or you're picking it up in a manner where you are controlling the load? You do not want it to swing, a pendulum effect, correct?
Right.
You're not wanting it to where that you're in one location, you're picking it up, and as you pick it up, now it's having to start to swing over. Everything has a center of gravity. When you pick up a load, that's exactly where it's going to go. So when you're actually picking up an object, you're supposed to be looking at how much it weighs, how you're actually lifting it up, because when you're lifting it up, is every single load that you're going to pick up only in need of one rigging?
Nope.
Is it always going to be on one central location? No. You're trying to make it where every object is flown to where it's perfectly level and everything is sustainable. In that event, you may actually have 6 different types of rigging equipment to make it where the load is sustained. So when you use these come-alongs and you use these hoisting chains, you have to make sure that you inspect everything prior to it, You make sure that all the actual rigging tags are there so you know what the load rating is for each one of them, and you manipulate each one correctly to pick up the weight that you intend to pick up. All that is prior on pre-planning. Without the pre-planning, everything that you do after that has a chance of failure. As long as you do pre-planning for all of your rigging, you will succeed as far as doing every step and every task correctly. Make sure that you don't leave this stuff unattended. When we have overhead work that occurs, you guys expect that these steel guys do not drop anything on your head, correct?
Yep.
That's what you expect, that's what you hope for. Well, it's just like anybody that walks in this room in the event that you were rigging up over here in this location, over this ductwork, and you come in this room, you would hope that everything is being put in place so that way you're not being in danger of someone doing that operation. If you expect one crew to do it, you should expect yourself to do it. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to add to this situation?